Connection stable. Entry: classified mythical files. Authorization level Omega. What if everything you thought you knew about Pokemon's mythicals was just the tip of the iceberg? Beyond their Pokédex entries and battle prowess lies a hidden tapestry of ancient prophecies, cosmic battles, and spiritual awakenings. We are taught to see them as rare captures, as trophies for the elite. But the data suggests a far more complex reality. These are not merely creatures. They are the architects of the laws of physics, the guardians of the genetic code, and the anchors of our very existence. Our archives have uncovered fragments of data that the Pokémon League has kept buried for decades. We are not just talking about power levels. We are talking about the fundamental source code of the universe. These entities operate on a plane of existence that standard technology can barely register. They are the admin users of our world. Prepare to discover the true power and profound purpose of Arceus, Mew, and the legendary pantheon far removed from any game screen, initializing full decryption. Please remain calibrated for a long-form deep dive into the unknown. At the absolute center of the cosmic database lies Report number 493, Arceus. Ancient Sinnoh texts describe it emerging from an egg in a place where there was nothing. But from a data-driven perspective, this egg was not biological. It was a gravitational singularity, a point of infinite density before the expansion of the multiverse. When the original one opened its eyes, it didn't just create land and water. It established the mathematical constants that allow matter to exist. Consider the 1,000 arms mentioned in the legends. Our deep scan analysis suggests these are not physical appendages. Instead, they are localized manipulations of the fabric of reality multidimensional tethers that allow Arceus to influence every point in time and space simultaneously. This is why Arceus can be everywhere and nowhere at once. It is a distributed consciousness. Arceus established the triad of existence: time, space, and antimatter. By delegating these dimensions to the creation trio Gaiaga, Palkia, and Giratina, Arceus ensured a stable environment for biological life. However, the Untold lore suggests that Arceus remains in a state of eternal observation. It acts as the ultimate cosmic firewall. Data fragments from the Spear Pillar incident suggest that if the balance between these dimensions were to fail, Arceus would initialize a hard reset of the universe, wiping the current timeline to start anew. We are living in a stable version of reality only because the program Arceus deems it functional. If Arceus is the programmer, Mew is the source code. Identified in the files as the ancestor of all Pokémon, Mew possesses the DNA of every known species. But why does a single creature hold the blueprint for all others? Hidden logs from the Fuji expeditions in Guyana suggest that Mew is not just a biological ancestor, but a living backup drive for the planet's biosphere. Mew remains invisible to the naked eye, appearing only to those with a pure heart. Translating this into technical terms, Mew vibrates at a frequency outside the human visual spectrum. It is essentially a ghost in the machine. It inhabits the Tree of Beginning, which acts as a massive planetary neural network, feeding on the life force of the Earth itself. But the lore takes a dark turn with the creation of Mewtwo. Humanity attempted to optimize the source code. By extracting Mew's DNA and subjecting it to years of horrific gene splicing, Team Rocket scientists created a psychic weapon. However, Mewtwo lacks Mew's playful connection to the universe. Mewtwo is pure, concentrated logic and power, a reflection of human ambition. The Untold lore here is a warning. Mew represents the infinite potential of nature, while Mewtwo represents the destructive limit of human ego. One is a miracle. The other is a ghost haunting the lab where it was born. Time is not a straight line. It is a garden tended by report number 251, Celebi. Known as the voice of the forest, Celebi's true function is temporal synchronization. When a forest is in danger of ecological collapse, Celebi travels from a stable future to plant the seeds of survival. It is a time-traveling gardener. This leads us to the tragic history of the Kalos region and the eternal flower float. While technically not a mythical in the traditional sense, its lore is inextricably linked to the ultimate weapon. 3,000 years ago, a king named Az created a machine to bring his beloved float back to life. This machine didn't just use electricity. It used the life energy, the biofuel of the Pokémon world. To bring one life back, Az sacrificed thousands. This created a rift in the world's energy balance that only mythical beings like Celebi or the Aura Guardian Lucario could sense. The untold lore of Float is that it left Az not because it was ungrateful, but because it realized it had become an anomaly, a creature that should not exist according to the laws of life and death. This is why certain mythicals remain hidden. They are protecting the natural cycle from being broken by human grief. Our gaze must now turn upward. Report number 386, Deoxys. Originating as a space virus on a laser-irradiated meteor, Deoxys is the first confirmed extraterrestrial life form in our database. It is a master of cellular reconfiguration. It can shift between attack, defense, and speed forms by rearranging its own molecular structure in milliseconds. But why is it here? The Untold lore suggests a cosmic war for resources. Rayquaza, the guardian of the ozone layer, views Deoxys not as a visitor, but as a biological pathogen. Every time a meteor approaches Earth, it isn't just a rock. It's a potential infection. Deoxys represents the alpha of adaptability, a creature from a world where environments are lethal. It is searching for its partner, another Deoxys core, but in doing so, it threatens the very atmosphere of our planet. This is a battle of territorial immunity played out on an orbital scale. Finally, we address the guardians of the subconscious, Darkrai and Cresselia. They do not guard land. They guard the barrier between the waking world and the dream realm. Report number 491, Darkrai, is often depicted as a villain, but our analysis reveals its role is purely defensive. Darkrai creates nightmares to protect its territory. It is a biological firewall designed to keep humans from accessing planes of existence they cannot comprehend. The incident at Alamos Town showed us what happens when Darkrai is forced to fight. It isn't just attacking. It's trying to stabilize the dimensions being torn apart by Dialga and Palkia. Cresselia, the lunar counterpart, acts as the system restorer, healing the psychic trauma caused by the void. Without this binary system of fear and comfort, the human mind will be susceptible to interdimensional leaks. They are the janitors of the mind, ensuring that when we wake up, we forget the horrors of the abyss. The mythical Pokémon are not just rare creatures to be caught. They are the pillars upon which reality rests. They are the hidden variables in the equation of life. Understanding them requires looking past the pixelated entries and into the ancient hidden data of the universe. We are merely guests in a world governed by these cosmic entities, and our understanding is still in its infancy. The database is expanding, but many files remain locked. Subscribe now to authorize your access. The next report is being decrypted. Connection terminated.